It's simple.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's the joint roller. I am totally here, my tag team partner, CTAKC Bengals. Happening with you, brother?
What's good? What's good, everybody? And we are the Underground, a professional wrestling podcast. If you don't know, now you know. Definitely like, subscribe, and follow us on all the medias and social to this. Check us out as Reasonable Wrestling Podcast everywhere you get your podcast. Check us out on Reasonable Wrestling Podcast on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and on X or Twitter. It's RW Podcast One. You can follow us there to upload our takes live as we watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and AEW. But we're here to talk about today, the week that was in professional wrestling, and we got to talk about war. It's wartime, baby. We are war ready. Well, almost war ready because we have an
We
idea.
were ready. We were ready, baby. We were ready.
Almost. I'm almost because I gotta get some shit off my chest about this war. Okay, I honestly might be rooting for the new bloodline. Really thinking about it because I don't know if I like the way they built this, man. I really don't know if I'm really enjoying how they built this War Games match. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
A couple weeks ago,
I'm gonna let
we
you.
came.
I'm gonna let you have your take. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let you lay it all out because I thought about it, but then what they gave me last made me throw all that shit away. It made me. It made me like I was in a booth and I had to rewrite my 16, my nigga.
Okay.
So I'll let you go ahead and.
So a couple weeks ago, we talked about how this is gonna play out. Sammy gonna join the bloodline and all that stuff. And I'm like, bro, like I don't even like how Jay, just joined the family. I get it. I kind of got it. Like, all right, Jay's it's family. Sometimes you forgive family. They don't even have to say sorry. They don't have to apologize. Um, but I still didn't like it. Roman as a character has not grown to me. He has not given a firm understanding that, hey, the way I was a leader before needs to change for me to become a leader again. For me to really be a leader of this tribe, I have to change. One, two, like I told you last time, Solo was about to beat Cody at SummerSlam, and the only reason why he's not WWE champion is because Roman interfered. To me, that's an ego thing. To me, Roman just doesn't want somebody else to be tribal chief, man. He doesn't want to have to acknowledge somebody else as tribal chief. He's like, oh, this is for the family. Well, the family would have still had the title if Solo won it, right? But he didn't want that. He wants to be the main guy. He wants to be the focal point of how this family is run. And hey, that's cool. Chris brought up the point that it has to be won in tribal combat, and Solo didn't do that. Fine. Solo goes to combat with him and Jacob Fatu against Cody and Roman. And they win. Right. Right? No, did they win? No, they lost. They lost. They had Jimmy Uso came back. So they have that, and then now we're gonna get War Games. My big issue with that is that how we've gotten to this point now where we have the OG bloodline versus the new bloodline, along with Bronson Reed, who was just announced as the fifth member, has not has not given Roman the development as a character that I am okay with to really believe him as a babyface, to really endear him as the guy who understands what he put Jimmy, Jay, and Sammy through. It's kind of like how do I put this? It's kind of like I don't know, like your girlfriend or boyfriend cheats on you, and you just take them back, and they're like, well, you're not going to go anywhere anyways. Like, yeah, I pay for this, I pay for the house, I pay for this. Like if they have more money than the person and they're like kind of in a place where they're very affluent because they've been in charge for a long time, but because they have that affluent nature about them, they feel like they can get away with more without acknowledging their faults. And that's never how it should work. It's kind of still abusive. So when Sammy comes out and asks Roman a couple weeks ago to apologize to Jey Uso, and he says, I'm sorry that you're wasting my time, that was a slap in the face to Sammy and Jey for even trusting Roman now. And then at the end of the show, nothing is addressed, and Sammy ends up helping them overcome the bloodline to end the show, and they put the ones up. Right then and there, I was like, what the hell are they doing? Like, why is Sammy? He set up a real ultimatum, like, hey, say sorry or I'm not in. He didn't say sorry, and next thing you know, he's putting up the ones anyways. It didn't make any sense to me, and I don't know if we're ever gonna get the true comeuppance for Roman Reigns that we need to get for him to really, because he's already gotten what he wanted, which is Jey and Sammy back to help him with the bloodline. There's no reason for him to apologize now. Feel me?
But I would disagree to an extent. We don't know if Roman's going to get his comeuppance because Roman losing in war games can be very much the fabric tearing of a very loose shirt anyway, right? Like we have no idea how strong this bond is. As you say, family is family, but you still look at that cousin or your brother who owe you a little change differently when they ask you for change again. You know what I'm saying? Like you be like, nigga, you ain't you must really need it, my nigga. And I'm blessed enough to give you this $100. But my nigga, don't ask me for a fucking thing again, right? You have those moments. And then next Thanksgiving, he ain't paid you back the next 2 times, but he got on the new motherfucking Jordans. And you like, I know this motherfucker. Right? That fabric is torn. You have lost a bond or a friendship or a relationship or whatever the case may be with your cousin for $100 because he ain't had a principality to hit you back with some change, my nigga. So at the end of the day, we don't know how this story will end. To your point of what we're offered right now, Sammy made it straight up. I'm only fighting for Jey. I'm not fighting for Roman. I'm not fighting for Jimmy because at the end of the day,
no, I don't want to cut you off because you got something to say, but I want to bring something up that we saw this week. He's not fighting for anybody but Jey. But here's the thing: they're back to doing his bidding. Right now, they need a 5th member. So what do we see on Raw? Jey, Jimmy, and Sami Zayn going out trying to find somebody. Why can't Roman go and ask somebody to be a 5th member, huh? They're out doing his dirty work on Raw. And it's
Roman
like you guys just fell back into they just fell into the same old Three Stooges act they did a couple years ago of just doing his bidding.
But this goes back to, hold on. Roman didn't even want Sammy. Roman don't want a 5th. These niggas are doing things that Roman said don't do. He didn't send them out. So again, to your point, Roman is not sending them out as henchmen because he don't.
Well, that's all how because they all were like, "Hey, we gotta be equals this time. We gotta be equals." Well, guess what? You all are the ones doing the work of trying to find a 5th member. Roman's nowhere to be found. That doesn't seem equal to me.
That's not. Again, you dismiss my point. Why does Roman need to go find somebody he said he don't fucking want in the first place? That we had a conversation off camera, me and you, right? Why you going to search for something that you don't want, my nigga? Ain't no sense. if it's supposed to come to you, and niggas is if niggas is doing it, it'll come to you. But you're not going to see some shit that you already told me you don't fucking want. That don't make no sense. Cause then a nigga gonna come to you like, nigga, I thought you said you ain't want that. Well, you know shit, the nigga got scratched, got itchy, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck. Nah, nigga. So with Roman going to look for something, and again, to the character that you're talking about, if Roman apologized to his cousin, who in the fucking locker room is Roman gonna look in his eye and say, I need help too? Right? Like if Roman can't tell Jay, his blood cousin, that he done manipulated, that he done put through emotional and physical and stress and trauma, if he can't come to the grips of looking him in his face and giving him the my bad at least, who the fuck he gonna go in the locker room and get Apollo Crews? Like who he gonna have? Who can he really? Who we gonna get now? I do know that the fact that what you just stated, people are searching for a fifth to do the bidding. So hold on. Let me rewind. Let me just catch something because I was listening.
Let's be real. This is not.
Hold on.
Go ahead. Finish.
Hold on. I'm just sorry. Roman's not necessarily saying to backtracking a few things. When he said, can Solo be the champion and run the family? Okay. I'm not necessarily against that, my nigga, but who the fuck put you in charge to run the family? I, as Roman speaking, you know how much shit I had to go through? You know how much shit I had to provide for? You know how many niggas I had to put on to fucking get the mantra or the crown of being the person to take care of the family? And do you know what type of fucking ceremony takes place for you to be the fucking person to... All of this ain't necessarily fly-by-night stuff that I'm saying that should be overlooked when we're asking... Me and you just had a conversation, not even in the family, and said, is Solo a main eventer? Well, you just want Solo to have the United States Championship and some shit like that. And here Roman Reigns is talking to Solo like, how the fuck are you the... What meals have you provided?
I would be on your side. I would be on your side if he didn't talk so much about, you know, the family getting together and having power and all that stuff. Because he's not saying that Solo can't be tribal chief. Matter of fact, he's one who said he's a tribal heir. He's the one who said that. Roman said that. So at the end of the day, if he said even when he came back and he said, "Hey man, you haven't done what it takes to be the tribal chief yet," I said, I get it. You want to be the man, but you haven't earned it yet. If he did that, then I wouldn't be like, yo, you're right, 100%. But what he's been saying is basically, we want to bring the family back together, and we need the power. And I'm doing this for the family. But what it feels like is more like Roman has an ego trip that he wants to be the guy that's in charge. And right, man, rightfully so. That's who he is. But I want to see him atone for treating Sammy and Jay the way he did, and even Jimmy the way he did, and acknowledging them in a way through a legit apology, which we haven't gotten yet. But right now, they're still fighting alongside him regardless. And I feel like that's premature. I do think that Jay and Sammy should not have fought with Roman after what they've been through with this guy. This guy abused them physically, mentally, and emotionally. And you don't just jump back into his to defend him just like that, So
well, I want to. We haven't potted in a while, bro. So let me just ask you some questions, because when Jay and Jimmy and Roman are in the fucking ring, and Jay lays it out and say, "This is what the fuck is going on," and Roman says, "Yeet," is that not acknowledging Jay? Because that's acknowledging Jay to me. It may not be to the philosophical manner.
What it is, it's acknowledgement that he's been doing his thing. It's not an apology. It's not acknowledging of his error. It's not acknowledging of his own errors. You know,
But what
to me,
what time do we ever
it's
get
more
there?
it's more manipulation to me. It's more manipulation to me in the standpoint right now. Oh, Jay came back and he, wants to tag with his brother again. That's manipulation emotionally. Now Sammy's he's not there for Roman, he's there for Jay. That's just more manipulation. Nobody stood down on 10 toes and said, "No, Roman, you did some fucked up shit."
That's the character, bro. Like I'm at and at the end of the day, realistically, when and where
then why
do
should
we
I
have
root for this nigga?
You're not.
Okay.
You're not. I mean, so why are you asking me? Like you're not.
My point is this: he's portrayed as he's on the good side of things, But at the end of the day, he's still the same nigga, still the same old Dre.
But bro, Chronic Dre in 2001, my nigga, yeah, same old Dre. And slap D bars and all that shit, nigga. Ain't apologizing. It's the same old Dre. We bumped that nigga. Like what babyface turn did Dre have? So to your analogy, Roman, we were cheering.
I wasn't really even that literal, but I feel you.
But what I'm saying, but honestly, realistically, when did Roman turn? We were cheering him. When? Why? Like what made we just cheered the greatness of Roman Reigns, the aura of Roman Reigns.
Oh God.
Well, I mean, listen,
I get it. No, I get it. No, I get it. I get it. But I don't like just I don't want to use that word, but just he's Roman Reigns. Like just making everything okay just because you're Roman Reigns. Like just sucking up to this guy because everybody's doing it. Everybody's saying just because he's Roman Reigns, he gets to do this. He has to act this way and be this way. And as a character, I mean, as a performer, he's incredible. We all know what he's been through in life and all. But I'm talking about as a character, the character Roman Reigns needs to grow the fuck up and actually apologize to you guys.
Bro, what the fuck are you talking about? What fucking, it's a tribal chief. What fucking chief apologizes to fucking people? First and foremost.
Apologize when you've abused them. Absolutely. When you've come to your senses after now go reflecting, a true chief, a true leader reflects on his errors and can acknowledge them. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Now, if he's a heel, absolutely we don't need that. But if he's a babyface and we're trying to say, all right, he's gonna, now we have The Rock coming back and we don't know what's gonna happen with that. If he's, because this is an opportunity for him as a character to add more wrinkles to who Roman was as the tyrant tribal chief to who he is now as a tribal chief in a different manner of leading. And that's what I'm trying to get at with you.
Here you are. Always putting the cap for the goddamn carriage, my nigga. The fifth member of the new bloodline is Bronson Reed.
And that's another thing. This whole angle, Bronson Reed being in like just put into this. Now we're probably gonna get Seth on the other side. I don't like it. Like this was a family issue. I want to keep it that way, and maybe Sami Zayn because he has a history with these guys.
Mercenaries. If Solo's hiring mercenaries first and foremost. That is what origin story of Solo Sikoa is. He goes outside the realm of what you think that a motherfucker do. Bronson Reed has been what on Raw? I need to be famous. I am trying to get put on a fucking map. What has been running the wrestling storyline? Listen, Bronson Reed missed goddamn Australia. Listen, hey, kid or not being born. If you involve the goddamn bloodline, they put your ass out the goddamn hospital, you get on the fucking plane, and you go to do the fucking match. So Bronson Reed trying to be attached to that shit. Like real skill.
No, you're making a great point because I get that from a career aspect for Bronson Reed. I'm just talking story aspect. There's separate conversations to me. But you're right on that. There's separate conversations though. But you're right. As for Bronson's career and what he's been doing on Raw, it's in line for him to be opportunistic and join the new bloodline. And to be quite honest, He fits right in. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he looks the part as if he's fitting right in with these guys.
Bro,
You know,
when Jacob did the moonsault, yo, and he did the tsunami and shook his arms, nigga.
I'm not gonna lie, that was tight. That was fly. That was fly. You know, but you know,
It looks like
know,
Alex Force when he do
that. Nah, that was ill. That was ill. I can't front. That was ill. But I really, I guess I just pictured this being a combination of the Bloodline story that, without
But,
putting in other ancillary side things that have nothing to
but you
do.
can't.
Because
But
at the
this
end of the day, this is a solo Roman thing. Tribal
no.
chief.
If you are talking about character, so let me hold on. Let me light the joint and let me. I know we're doing a lot of air throwing on each other and stuff like that, but let me get real philosophical because me and you ain't talk shit to each other. This is us completely freestyling against one another. What? So if you want to talk about character development, where does this shit start with Roman Reigns? Seth Rollins.
Oh my
right?
God, we're going all the way back.
No, hold on. You want to talk?
No, go ahead. I'm not letting you go. Let you cook. Go ahead.
Talking about if we talk about this OG bloodline consisting of brotherhood, where you got the Usos of real brothers, you got Jay accepting Sammy before Jay do. Then you got Sammy and Jay doing the brotherhood and stuff like that. Roman finally accepting Sammy after War Games into the brotherhood of the bloodline. This tyrant of Roman Reigns and the career trajectory of where do I go now and what do I do now is when he was separated from the Shield. Seth Rollins turning and hitting, and we saw it in the WrestleMania 40. Roman, as much as he wants to say that 1,300 whatever championship days, I got to eliminate Cody Rhodes. When Seth was in his motherfucking vicinity, nigga, he had to just vindicate himself with the chair shot to the back. And Seth said, fuck it, I know what it is, bro. I'll take it. But on screen, on camera, storyline, that character ain't never meant no brotherhood. Roman and Seth. So when Seth just said what he said in the promo, next time, he pretty much said, when I see Roman, I'm going to spit in his fucking face almost. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for that nigga to be like, I gotta join that team. Yo, Steph damn near be like, yo, I don't even give a fuck about Bronson Reed, nigga.
But how do we get to that point? And that's the thing. 1 week ago, he was saying, next time I see him, I'm gonna stomp his head in the ground like that much on site type of shit. I'm gonna be fighting him next time I'm in the ring with him. How do we go from that week one statement to this week a complete 180, which is exactly what they do with Sami Zayn?
To have to apologize.
He's not going to. We've already seen it. I hope he does.
Hold on, but this is what I'm trying to say. This is why I say, how we have a conversation with you so cynical? You asking for something, and it's still right there in front of you if you receive it, and it has the deeper of the layers of. It's not surface level. This ain't the manipulation of what he did to Jay and Jimmy started with the manipulation of where the fuck his career was going to go with the trajectory of him not being involved with the Shield. Nigga, they taking over Evolution and beating Randy, Batista, and Triple H, and this nigga gonna turn on me in the middle of this? And I get the next 2 years, I got dog food on me, and I'm chained to the goddamn rope of Baron Corbin and goddamn
I see where you're. There is no way to get around the fact that Roman's story is tied to Seth and vice versa, and them being in the ring together, in theory, could work. My thing is storyline wise, how do we get there? And maybe it is an apology from Roman, but I just watched them not do it for Sammy and not do it for Jay, his cousin, which he's tortured over the past 2 years. So my thing is like, are they going to do that right now just to get Seth in it? I'm not very confident in that. Like, I'm not sure if you've ever watched like a soap opera or you watched like a novella or something like that. I've seen, and just to get things, they'll just speed up a storyline real quick, and that's how I felt they've been doing it with WWE. Like I've seen in like a soap opera where a couple, like was separated because the guy cheated on with this crazy bitch, and then that crazy bitch kills somebody and frames the ex-wife for it. The ex-wife then goes to jail, spends time in jail, comes out. She gets vindicated. She didn't commit the murder. Then she gets back with the dude who cheated on her with the crazy bitch. And it's like, dude, after all you went through, you're still back with this nigga. Like, it's like that's how I feel about Sammy J. And then that energy Seth gave was rational. Seth was like, that's the energy that they should have. Like I'm not fucking with Roman, like that's what I want to see. Like until he stands on.
But but this is what I'm trying to get you to understand, bro.
He gotta get humble. Like Roman gotta get humble. That's what I'm trying to say. At some point,
but how the fuck them niggas gonna humble him? He put all them niggas on. Let's be like, let's keep like, and this is where I'm about to get a little ignorant. Like, hold on, nigga. This nigga main event Jey Uso, nigga. How the fuck I ain't playing more, nigga? I get 10% of everything this nigga sell because I gave him that name, nigga. What you mean? What you talking about? Nigga, Sami Zayn is motherfucking main eventing shows in Montreal for the World Heavyweight Championship, nigga. For motherfucking me. I'm putting niggas on. Sammy wanted to get into my fucking family. Go back on YouTube, nigga. Sammy came in there with the little snitch look, like, hey, Roman, hey, can you protect me? Hey, hey. This nigga was hanging around the locker room trying to get in my shit, bro. What you mean, nigga? I let that nigga in because he did good servitude. And then after that, he chose his other best friend over me because, again, what we talking about here is that blood ain't always thicker than water. Kevin Owens and Sammy had a relationship so goddamn tight that Sammy had to fucking snap out of it in the middle of it and give Roman, and this is what I'm trying to say, the comeuppance that Roman needed has been happening for a year. He lost, and it was the downfall Cody has said was going to happen. So the fall of Roman's reign has been happening. Has Roman tapped into Aaron Rodgers type shit? Like, no, nigga, I can still play football at 40 with coming off injury. He's delusional. So,
dude, that's low, bro. Don't do that.
I mean, what I'm saying is that the great ones are always the last to know when they are not it. So when you're talking about Roman needs to be humbled, Roman has been humbled for a while. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, Conrad. Hey, let me know how Buffalo is. I know Chippewa is lit right now, cuz stay safe. Cause I know they letting off them free gunshots in the air tonight, brother. Anyway.
But no, you hit on something good. Like, he might be the last one to know that, you know what, I'm not running things the way I should have. I didn't do things right, or maybe things have, I'm not getting the results I thought I could get by forcing myself into the spotlight again. I hope they tell that, though. I hope they tell that story, because there is a real opportunity to make Roman a massive, I know he's babyface, but massive babyface through owning up to the things that he's done.
Well, in the locker room, they are talking to him with, hey, bro, you gotta make that call, homie. You gotta make that call. You gotta make that call. No, you gotta make that call. We did all we could, nigga. You gotta make that call. So they are on his ass to do whatever the fuck move he gotta do now. And I don't know if you saw the joint. He called Heyman and the joint disconnected. You feel me? Meanwhile, I don't know if it's kayfabe or not, or storyline or not. Paul Heyman literally posted a picture on the cruise ship or some shit, on the boat, nigga. He on the water or something, nigga. So clearly one of the phones worked. You know what I'm saying?
He's out on the sea, so he didn't get the service. No, like so I mean, I hope that they take the details and tell it like tell the story in a way that at the end of it all, I'm like, all right, that kind
Because
of
the story
works.
will be Paul Heyman attaching himself to that's the story.
Hmm.
The story is Paul Heyman attaching himself to Solo because the real person who needs to be relevant is Paul Heyman, right? If we talking like real deep, like Paul is Punk, he leaves shit. Is Brock, he leaves. God damn it, Roman, bro. Right now, there is there is not another thing that can elevate Paul Heyman or Paul Heyman can elevate outside of him attaching himself and making Solo and Jacob Fatu the stars that they need to be, right? Like taking them on the road and doing the things. And I don't know if
Absolutely.
Paul wants to do that, but I think that might be, and again, the whole thing of that will be the final nail in the call when Roman finally vulnerable. Let's say he do apologize. Let's say he do get the fucking shield pumped back with stuff. Let's say he do say I'm sorry. Like let's say he do get all that shit and he finally, as a baby face, is vulnerable and he's open and motherfucking Paul comes down to the ring during War Games and slams the door on Roman's head, my nigga. The like, what you like? That's you nigga, like what the feels is gonna be there, my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
We
And
shall
will Paul
see.
Heyman take the Ulafala and Paul Heyman puts the Ulafala on motherfucking Solo, my nigga. That shit would be crazy. But I think that it would take away from the mouthpiece that is Jacob and Solo. But I think I think that will be that's real heat when the manager turns on the joint. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what
You
a
know,
real heat.
it could work because even though Roman could talk, he still has Paul, but just having that guy in your back pocket who's with you all the time, it helps you grow. As obviously we've seen it, and how you present things. I think him, especially for Jacob Fatu, could be a real force to be reckoned with. And Solo, I think has done great. I think Ray mentioned it in the group chat. Like he's just been growing in his personality as tribal chief, and him laying out Roman a couple of times has made him look formidable. So I gotta hand it to him. And the growth he's made over the past couple of months, he's definitely taken a leap as far as how he's presenting himself. Because being stoic and not talking as much, and then having people around you that are also very charismatic, like Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu, it could have been, all right, you're being overshadowed, but he's not. He's not at this point. So shout out to Solo.
Absolutely. And I think that's a big step for me. I know we talk a lot about quote dedication of our points and everything like that, but like when you say I caught things from I knew he was going to be good. Like because he was just bred to be that way growing up in that bloodline, right?
Mhm.
He
Yeah, but
he was
before that, because you honestly are the one that struck me with that thought process, because you were like, it's not Solo and Roman, it's Jacob Fatu and Roman. That's what I want to see. I remember one day you said that, I was like, wait a minute, but we've been talking about Solo all this time. And then I started to think about it. I was like, man, Jacob. And then I saw everybody start talking about Jacob after that. Once he debuted, everybody started talking about Jacob like crazy. So I was like, man, there's something to this here that that people are kind of like
well because
waiting
Jacob
for this guy.
Jacob is the solo in this because again, I go back into the original order story of the thing. Like it was when Jay would be like, "Oh, but give a damn with the tribal chief day," right? Those little cracks right there, where we wanted to see Jay break away one more time, right? And we wanted to see Jay and Roman. We wanted Jay to, and I was like, can Jay really get it? And then when Solo would step in and when Roman will back down to, you know what I'm saying? He wouldn't try Solo the way he would try the rest of the motherfucker. Yo, I don't even know if I don't even know if Solo be looking at Jacob. Like he just be putting his arm up. Like I don't even know. Like it's the dog. Like I know a lot of people say it a lot when they got Cane Corso or some shit like that, where it's that alpha tester moment where your dog trying to see who run the house, and it played nice for a minute until it really want that steak that's on the motherfucking table, and Jacob seems to be the person that wants his owner to eat. You feel me? So with that being said, if Solo sick him, that's the dog I want to see in the fight, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So if Solo proves to like I can't get over the hump of Roman, which we haven't seen, right? Solo's laying out Roman every chance we can get, right? Roman, Superman punches Jacob, something we haven't really seen a lot of. He Superman punches Bronson. Speaking of Friday, when Bronson and it's Solo who fucking gets the spike and lays him out. You know what I'm saying? So like, it hasn't been a point where Solo really has to let go of the collar of Jacob. So that's why it really still works where Solo isn't overshadowed. Because
it was very telling him being the one to take Roman out after he's taken everybody else out. It was a statement for me. And then his promo afterwards talking about, there's a reason why they call him the OG bloodline, because you can't keep up with the new. I loved everything he said. I'm like, all right, you're finding who you are as this tribal chief, because it's not just a moniker anymore. He's living it, So I love it. I'm putting my money on the new bloodline to win War Games. I want them to win. I'm officially on their side.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. Like you say, Bronson looked nasty. He looked nasty with them niggas, bro. And he make them niggas look little. He make them niggas look real.
You saw him as a big Jacob. I was like, yo, damn, he's a big guy. Yeah, he does. I thought Jacob was a big guy.
Yeah, I thought Jacob was a big nigga. Nah, hell nah, bro. It's another thing, a hot topic that we had to talk about, not necessarily WWE related, but you wanted to talk about your boy Nicely. So I want you to go ahead and let's get I say we get the longer topics out of the way. We can get our discussion and we can hit the little sweet licks that we got, because I know I gotta talk about the women real quick as you search. Shout out to the women who opened and closed every WWE show this past week. Monday Night Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. They have women opening matches on all three shows and women closing the matches. And it highlighted some beautiful black women. Jakara Jackson, Lash Legend, B Fab was in a triple threat on SmackDown. Of course, we had the motherfucking tag team champions of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill in a match. So it was jam packed. Naomi main evented.
I'm gonna get to that, right? I'm gonna get to that too, because I want to talk about it a little bit. Show some love. Yeah. We can talk about it now if you want.
I was just filibustering as you find, but I just said I know those are quicker. I know that for sure. I wanted to make sure I got out the way, because I don't know if I was going to talk about the matches in particular, all of those. But yeah, Nia Jackson.
Nia Jackson Naomi was hitting. That was a good match, man.
That was a
great match. Yeah, and Naomi still got it. Still got it.
Hey, Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy. You won. You won. You know what I'm saying?
Got it, man. But yeah, before we get into that, let's go ahead and show a clip of John Moxley. He had an interview with the New York Post where he talked about AEW and AEW's future. So let's play that real quick. Let me know if you can hear it.
Yep. I can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
Can't hear it.
Damn.
Hold
Give me
on.
1 second.
Okay, you can hear it though.
I can't on my screen. Yeah, unfortunately, you guys can't hear it. Damn. Okay.
Change the. Um, I still can't hear Moxley.
Oh, you didn't hear it?
No, I can't hear it.
Damn, Sam. All right. I just have to narrate it myself. But as you can see here, it says Moxley hopes to remold how AEW thinks creatively amid the company's early success. So basically, he had a interview with the New York Post where he talked about just the lack of, well, pretty much what AEW has been going through is they've been going through a little bit of a dip. They've been going through a dip of ticket sales, ratings, all that stuff. So let me pull up the article to just let you know. All right, so here's some of the key points for. So he pretty much was telling us his vision for AEW, and he thinks it needs a hard reset. He calls the day that he returned from AEW day zero after the 2-month hiatus. So I'm going to give you some key points from the interview. So the day zero concept is just Moxley describing his return as the beginning of a new era for AEW, where the past events are no longer dictated. The past events no longer dictate future direction. And he envisions this as a time for incremental changes. So that means a little bit over time that will lead to significant transformations long down the line. So it's not going to happen immediately. He thinks it's going to happen he's more concerned with 4 or 5 years down the line of what they're doing now to develop these guys, characters, and superstars to create a new strong roster of creative talent and stories that we care about. He said that he also highlighted the need for AEW to build a strong infrastructure to support the growth. He suggested that the company expands. For it to expand, it must also enhance its operational capabilities to avoid, the potential pitfalls. I think he mentioned that, at one point he talked to one of the guys backstage where he said, okay, what are we doing for this part of the card? And what's their story? And the guy was like, well, they don't need a story. They're at the bottom of the card. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, that pissed him off, So he wants to essentially nurture all the young talent, and no matter where you are on the card, make it matter, which is something I've been talking about for a long time with AEW. It can't just be a glorified indie. All these matches should have some kind of purpose. Like, you can't just be throwing a match on the card where I'm like, yeah, this was good, but then why did they even do this and that and this and that? It was, hopefully we get more of that weeded out, where we have less questions on, like, okay, that was a waste of my time. These matches that were just out there. You can have a banger in the main event, but if it took me 2 hours of shit that I don't care about to get there, will I even make it to the main event? You know what I mean? So, and he said, yeah, but that's basically it, man.
Well, what I was going to ask you, what I wanted to ask you, and to go to, because I know that there's a little bit more, but what I wanted to just ask you,
Yeah.
has Moxley moved the needle himself during this?
During what?
To you, when he said that, even when he's like, even as we hear him say, is going to be incremental in how these transformations are going to happen, and it may not make sense to you now. Can you look back over anything and justify what it is that he's talking about in this article as to anything that can be seen as something that has moved the needle to show that there's
I
a
can't.
difference?
I can't because I haven't been really watching it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to say something like yes or no because I don't think it'll be fair. I don't think it'll be fair if I'm not watching the product to say, yeah, nothing's changed or hey, yeah, there's been changes. I know that he has a title match defense against Orange Cassidy. And I know that, his storyline with the BCC has bled into other storyline going on, like the Jack Perry, Daniel Garcia situation. And it has had a little bit of a shift creatively, from what I can see from the outside looking in. But I do think that, like I told you, when he won the title, if they're gonna do this, he should hold his title for a while. It shouldn't be something that's just hot shotted for Darby Allin to get about at the end of the month, or at the end of the year even. I want him to hold his title for a while and really reshape this company in his image, and make the BCC one of the top groups in the company. However you see fit, just be intentional about what you're trying to do and stick to it. And what are your goals for Wheeler Yuta? What are your goals for Claudio and Marina Shafir? Like, what are your goals for them over the next 365 days? That should be the goal for that group, and hitting those, whether it's them staying with the group or them leaving or them bringing in new guys to the BCC, or now they're not calling it the BCC, they're calling it the Death Riders. So what the or any obviously Puck, what is the goal for them? And then that also should impact what everybody else in the company is purposefully doing over the next year. You know what I mean?
And I think that's what you're saying. A company of his image. I don't know what that is, so I won't speak disparagingly about that. But what I am going to say is that it seems every bit as erratic and transitional as everything has previously. And the reason why I say that is because there's no way Bobby Lashley, John Moxley can not interact within the next year or 6 months and that don't go to where it need to go. And we can possibly maybe build something on that to where that, but now Kenny Omega is back wrestling
I want to see
and
John Bob. I want to see Lashley and Omega. Like that's one of the matches I really would like to see. I don't know why. I think that their styles could really be interesting. But to your point, I think this is going to take time, and I think that it's not something you can see right away. One thing I'll say about John Moxley is that he has a mind for the business, and he definitely cares. Like I've listened to him talk about how he wants to create his art form, and he's clearly passionate about it. There's a lot of people that just do it just to do it and get a paycheck. This guy cares about
yeah,
not just himself, but
yeah,
everybody else,
I can
Um,
see that. I can see that.
and I think that he's willing to do and take. And there's been multiple times where they've lost somebody, and he has to take the reign and and be the leader for AEW. And like at the time before, it was like forced on him because he was the right person for the job. Now it seems like he's kind of owning it. It's the first time I'm hearing him talk about things, and he's like, "No, I'm gonna talk to the guys in the back. Like I'm going to be the guy." Before it was more like, "Hey, man, I don't want to be that guy who always coming and giving advice. Or, like somebody comes to me, I'll give it to them. But this is what I think they should do." He was kind of like, "Hey, man, this is what I think is best for the business, but I'm not gonna try to force myself on these kids." Now it seems like, no, we gotta change this shit. Like he seems like he's intentional about his role in the company, which it I think that he might be champion and his reign might come and go, and you might not ever get the John Moxley that you wanted. But it would the impact of what he's doing now will be affecting everybody else. I think he's kind of can be a sacrificial lamb for everybody else to get over in a sense. And I think he's a guy that sees it that way. You know, So I hear you. Like there may not be a needle move right now, and if him and Bobby cross
Well,
paths, was just done in a creative way.
I
So we
I
can.
think I think to I think the infrastructure that needs to change is not something that needs to be seen necessarily on camera too much, because we've always said it's structured within the business of the company, right? The alignment of where that hierarchy chart is, as far as who has Tony's ear, where does Tony ideas come from, who has input, why does everybody have input, where, like, the placement, the formatting, the sequence of the show, it doesn't always seem like it hits. That doesn't always translate to goddamn Death Riders and Moxley poetically waxing on the microphone. The infrastructure of the company should not be led by Moxley on screen, on character. To me, in my belief.
Ticket sales haven't been as great, but it may be that.
Did I hear? Did you
You
hear
got
that?
it. Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh,
I can
okay.
hear it.
My bad. I
Does
just
that
want
make it a time where
just try something different to see if it works.
this is a very different kind of story we're telling here in AEW? What did you feel like this was the time that the company kind of needed this shift, or as you probably said, this paradigm shift to happen?
I have a dream, a vision, something I can see. I see a world where everyone is successful, where everyone can be successful, where talents are fostered and growth is fostered, and talents are set up for success and set up for growth, to be whatever it is they can be, where their strengths are brought to the forefront and utilized, and we mine their value out of them. My goals going forward are, probably the most ambitious things I've ever attempted. And, logically on paper, one would say they would probably be impossible. But we're going to do it.
Does this make it maybe a good time for it, where the new TV deal starts? We're kind of at a point where, ratings are kind of staying the same. Maybe the ticket sales haven't been as great, but it may be that. Does that make it a time where, hey, let's take a look at everything before we start this new TV deal with where things are right now?
It's going to be whatever we make it. Whatever we, stand up and, take ownership of this opportunity, man. It can be whatever the we want it to be. There's no rules. There's no any rules we have, or we got to have interviews on the set that look like this, or we got to have this in this time, or we got to put this up, or any kind of rules we have are just things we put on ourselves. It's pro wrestling, man, and it's always evolving. And you gotta stay evolving with it. You get left behind. You're always learning and always growing. The attitude that we're kind of building around, the attitude that you're feeling, kind of the energy that you're feeling in the locker room, backstage, in the arena, just everything surrounding AEW. It's a different kind of attitude, and like I said, it's very exciting. And there's be a lot of stuff that won't be a part of this AEW. Like, for example, early in the year, I was having a conversation, or it was a round conversation. Early in the year, I heard somebody, a backstage type person, and talking about interviews or pre-tapes or something, and it was a situation where talents were not put in a position to succeed. And due to lack of kind of preparation and framework and direction and things like that. And this individual said, well, it's the bottom of the card. It doesn't matter. Wow, it's the bottom of the card. It doesn't matter. And like, can you imagine saying that?
No.
Like you're fired.
Yeah.
You're fired. Go work at Sunglass Hut. You should be pistol whipped for saying that. And like, for one, everybody that's on the top of the card was at one time on the bottom of the card.
Right.
That's how it works. You climb the ladder. And how are these, what are these, you see a lot of kind of just frustration or confusion because from some of these talents, because there's no ladder. They don't know what to do. They're just kind of wandering in the desert, right? So we're gonna grab them, and we're gonna grab them by the shoulder and want to walk them.
So that's it, man. That's it. So yeah, I think that we'll see in due time. We're not going to see it immediately. It's not going to be something that, but at least there will be some kind of infrastructure. But to see somebody who has such a prominent role in AEW speak out about the product in that way, I think it means something, especially publicly.
I think for one, it's
Give me 1 second. I'll be right there.
okay.
Yeah, just.
Gotcha. I think for one, the way Moxley is able to articulate himself needs to be something that hopefully he does a little bit better. There were times where I am trying to understand where he's trying to go with what it is that he's saying. Even in that excerpt, there were plenty of dead spaces and ums of where he says, I have this vision in my mind that only I can see. Okay, so can you please tell me how these people will be fostered? How this talent will be able to be put in different and better positions than previously? Is this direct opposition of what the elite was doing previously, right? Like, because we didn't like that type of good old boys club situation that they was doing over there. So realistically, what would it look like? You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of very much on. I'm apprehensive because again, Moxley he already stated this is the most ambitious thing he's ever tried to do, and he doesn't really seem really versed in how he wants to really accomplish that. You know what I'm saying? But I won't too much. I won't too much dive into that, especially when he said that I won't be able to see it right now. So, and with that being said, I do know that there is a ton of new talent. That is a new influx of talent that has came from other places, clearly WWE, where the structure of things is very much well known of how to maintain the longevity of staying on TV and how to produce a show and how, again, there are also people that come from Impact, producers and agents that go to WWE and make a very big difference in how that TV
Yeah,
is
man. Scott
structured.
D'Amore was found backstage at NXT this past week.
Hey man, you wasn't going to keep a good man like him down too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, so with that being said, again, like I said, I won't beat on Moxley too much, but the articulation and the clarity of what it is that he's saying is very hard for me to really
No,
believe.
you're right. It's very vague. I'm not gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest. It's very vague. So I'm not like saying that this is like a new day and age, right? We're gonna be watching every single week, but I'm just saying it's good news. It's good to be notified. I mean, it's noteworthy that he had this conversation. Now we can expect to see how things change. Move forward. But there has to be some type of structure. There has to be a ladder. But for there to be a ladder, that means there is rules. There is certain things you got to abide by. So you can't say both. I will say that about what he said. You can't have both. You can't. Hey, there's no rules. Do whatever you want, but there has to be structure and a ladder. Those don't really coincide. You got to find how to balance it out and create what AEW system is. Now, yeah, it can be changed and evolve over time, but you got to have some type of structure.
But even when so me, me, as a poet, I'll say there's boundaries and freedom, and niggas like, right? Like, no, there's boundaries within your freedom, right? So Moxley can say that, and I would identify exactly what he's saying. But you can't tell me that I can have both, right? Because establishing that I have freedom, but there's a border, allows me to know that there's space enough for me to build within the parameters. For you to tell me that I can go off the map, but tell me I can't go off the map, that don't really make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so then it goes back to me what I said is this direct opposition of what the elite was doing, because how is this talent going to be fostered, right? You have a ton of fucking talent, you have a ton of fucking uh, uh, television time, and it doesn't get utilized to the best of its ability to highlight the people that you say. So, I mean, currently right now, like I said, there are people that have done it a long time that seems to take onus of their own stuff and do it themselves. MVP, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a fucking agent. I am an agent. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a producer. He is a producer. The only thing he needs to know is how much time he has and who's the fucking cameraman. Because that then goes back to the director on how things need to be shot and what it is that we are trying to say and inflect. And if we're going to do the fucking hurt lock, but do it from this angle, so I need the fucking hand cam over here. Like, that's what if Darby's gonna do a fucking spot coming down from the goddamn ring like Sting, can we get camera 2 on Darby and not miss the fucking spot? Because that is what the infrastructure that needs to change in fucking AEW. Not just Darby Allin doing cool shit, but capturing it, having viral moments, having it be something that leads to something, and it being sustained throughout time. Hangman Page and Swerve is the best example of what should be and could be cornerstones of a company, and we're here talking about another motherfucking 4 pillars, and they cracking. MJF, Hangman Page, Swerve, and goddamn, who else would you put as that 4th goddamn pillar? Mox.
I don't know if I even want to do it for pills anymore. I just
Well, I
think
know,
that
but what I'm saying is, as the corner, I mean, if we talk about
as of right
cornerstones,
now, yeah, Moxley. As of right now, Moxley. Yeah.
So MJF, Moxley, Hangman, and Swerve as the cornerstones of the
Will
company.
Ospreay, there's him
Okay,
too.
all right,
So-
boom. That's what I'm saying. How is all of this going to be managed? because and that's what
I
I'm.
think
That's what
that
I'm.
the guy, like, right now, with the Death Riders, John Moxley taking over AEW and doing all this violent shit and taking people out, breaking necks and all that shit, putting people in the
Because what does
hospital.
that even
The
mean,
guy
bro?
the guy that should defend AEW is Kenny Omega. Like, let's be real. That's the guy who should return to come to the rescue. But
Mm.
he has to. It has to be a different. I don't know how to say this. He has to be. It has to be an evolution of him on the microphone, basically. There has to be an evolution of Kenny Omega representing himself on the microphone. I don't think I've seen him do it the best. And if you can't do it, then let Will Ospreay be the guy. Because at some point, John Moxley and the Death Rider are going to come to face with somebody who is that guy. If not, it's going to end up being Darby. But if it's Darby, then I don't want it for like another 6 to 7, 8, 9 months. I want to take your time with that. But if it's a guy like Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, they're the ones that should be getting up in John Moxley's face at this point. Storyline wise, But yeah, I mean, Moxley, he's not the most articulate guy, but I think he's vocalizing a lot of frustrations that he's seen behind the scenes and the yearning to make people better. And that passion, I fuck with it.
Yeah, I can only respect it. I'll say that. I
Yeah.
can only respect it. So I can't wait to see what it look like going forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We shall see.
That's
We shall see.
I was about to
Do
say.
you want to
That's
look at
what
the full gear card? Exactly. I
guess.
mean, we don't have to.
No,
We don't have
I
to.
was about to say that was my AEW talk, but I guess we can pull up this full gear card.
I
Let's
wanted
see.
you to tell me if you have anything just anything there you want to see. That's why I wanted to play. I mean, because I know.
I mean, nah. What I say? Nah. Swerve. Okay. Swerve and Bobby Lashley. I guess just to see, Bobby Lashley. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's gonna be MJF and Roderick Strong. I don't want to see that. Jay White, Adam Hangman Page. I don't want to see that. Private Party versus Outrunners versus King of Black versus Nickel. I don't want to see that. Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander, I guess. Jack Perry versus Dan Garcia, no. Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher, I guess. John Moxley versus Orange Cassidy, no. Yeah, man, this card is AAASSS. This
Time
shit
out.
is
Time out. Do you think that the card is not good because of the story's been told, or do you feel like if you were to watch it, you'd be like, "Oh, this was a good show"? Because from what you said, if I were to watch it, I think that would be a good show. But I don't feel like, huh?
If they play, okay, out of eight matches.
We know Orange Cassidy and John Cena have had a really good match before. We know Swerve and Bobby's going to be interesting. Roderick Strong and MJF should be a good match. Now, just talking about just for match quality, I think that
I don't think that'll be a good match. I don't want to see 20 minutes of that shit, bro.
Okay. Right.
Like it's gonna be.
Kyle Fletcher, they're gonna have a good match.
Okay, so you're telling me they giving me a Dynamite card because it's
all right. Moving on. Moving on. There is a new Women's United States Championship that has just come out, and they're doing a tournament. Pull the tournament.
Okay,
and I want you to tell me who you think is gonna be the finalists.
Okay, you got it. Or you got? Okay, you got it. All right. Cause I'm on turtle time right now. This train got me going crazy. WWE US Women's Championship.
Let's see. Some people are saying it's gonna be Bianca and Jade in the finals. I don't see that happening.
Nah, I think it might be Bailey and Naomi in the finals.
I would like that. I would like Bailey and Naomi. That could be cool.
I got it. Hold on. Let me say this image.
So yeah, I got it too. So it's Bailey, Candice LeRae, and BFAB. They had a triple threat on SmackDown, and Bailey pulled out the victory. So she's moving over to the semifinals. Yeah. Next week we'll have Bianca Belair, Chelsea Green, and Blair Davenport. And on the other side of the card, we have the other side of the brackets. Excuse me. We have Jade Cargill, Mi Chen, Piper Niven, and then we have Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Alexa Lopez. So the winner of Jade, Mi Chen, and Piper will face the winner of Naomi, Tiffany, and Alexa Lopez. The winner of Bianca, Chelsea Green, and Blair Davenport will face Bailey. There we go.
Yeah, so as you stated, the triple threat with Bailey, BFAB, Candice LeRae already happened. So Bailey slotted in that. Bianca, Chelsea Green, and Blair Davenport, I believe. Yo, the final four should be Bailey, Bianca, Jade, and Naomi. That's the storyline that we've been seeing. But I do think that
I'm gonna throw something out there. What if we get Chelsea in the finals? Chelsea and Naomi.
Chelsea and Naomi in the finals will be fun. But I think if now this can be a chance to where it can catapult all the other women because the tag team champions Bianca and Jade have been kind of having a moment with Bailey and Naomi in the back.
Yeah.
Naomi doesn't need a title. She needs things to matter. Right? I don't like she doesn't necessarily need a title to me.
I want Naomi to win this shit. I really do. I she doesn't need it, but I don't know. You're right. But since she's been back, I feel like this is going to be a good moment to give her something, because she's been back. She hasn't really had that big crowning achievement moment where, Naomi has arrived since she's been back. I would like it to be here, and her facing Chelsea Green to defeat her. It will be dope. But if not, then Chelsea Green is a great way to give her some, credit for all the work she's been putting in, and the entertaining way she's been presented.
I can't really say that too much.
Those are my two girls that I would like to see win this. Woman, I should say.
I will say this. When you say Naomi hasn't had a moment, I think those championship matches are building the word character and layers to the story of who this is. That's why I say I think she needs to be in things that matter. Bianca and Jay riding for their girl, but Bailey and Naomi. But since she came back though, Bailey and Naomi has always got your back no matter what type draw. You know what I'm saying? So it is always Naomi has always been the pickle in the middle. And so I think having Naomi, whether she want to choose, if Bianca and Jay are going a little on the meaner side and Naomi are the mean girl with them, if Naomi tells, hey, you need to chill out, Bailey's a good girl, now we get the tag team match that you was talking about, where you got Bailey Naomi versus Jade and Bianca, and then if Bianca and Jade lose their title to them, that can be the riff and the split to start with that. Like there's a lot of layers in this US championship tournament can be the catapult to some things to where, like you say, she needs that crowning moment, Naomi, to be the US champion. But yeah, I do believe that Chelsea Green would be a great person to throw in there. You
Yeah.
know,
By the
she
look of this, I think that Bailey is going to be their choice to win it. I think Bailey's going to win the championship. I think that's what they have, penciled in. But I would love to see Chelsea win it or Naomi win it. I don't want to see the tag champions win it. I don't think that's necessary. Tiffany don't need it. She has the money to make briefcase.
Bailey does deserve it too, bro. She just won the Royal Rumble this year. Was in WrestleMania this year, and we damn near forgetting about her. So like, for her to be the first U.S. champion, to kind of really put a pen and a cap on you having a really great year, I think that would be a great type of thing to happen.
No, you're right. If she wins that, there's argument to be made that she's Woman Wrestler of the Year. If you really think about it.
And she's for sure now a surefire bona fide Hall of Famer. She would have literally won every fucking title that I've had to offer in that company. And the newest one in like, so I think that'd be good.
The Ultra Grand Slam.
And her first opponent should be Charlotte. Woo!
Running it back.
Charlotte and Bailey for that U.S. Championship go bang like Ric Flair, Harley Race.
If you don't think that we're gonna get Queen versus Queen, then you're tripping. Nia Jackson's holding that championship for Charlotte.
You think?
Yeah, I do. I do think she's holding for Charlotte. I think that if it's not that, it's gonna be Charlotte, winning the Royal Rumble and facing like a Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania after Tiffany cashes in on Nia.
Nah, I think if you're just telling it right, Charlotte can come back and do the Ronda deal where she beats fucking Nia and then Tiffy cashes in, and then now we got a feud of Tiffy versus Charlotte where Charlotte still can chase and go after Tiffy. That would be fire.
Okay. You think Tiffy cashes in and she's not successful?
No, she will. I think Tiffy. I think if you say Nia's keeping the title one for Charlotte, I think Charlotte will beat Naomi. Like Charlotte can beat Nia, and Tiffy will cash in at WrestleMania or some shit like that.
I like that too because I think that, like I've always said it, I need Charlotte to lose. I need her to fight from underneath. I need her to have some adversity. You can't just show up after being injured, gone for 2 years, gone for a year, win the championship right away. If they do that shit again,
we haven't had a women's cash out royal at WrestleMania.
No, we've never done it. I think Tiffany could be that person too.
Yeah, that'd be fine. That'd be fine.
Yeah. That'd be
do we have anything else hot topic? That we just I was really excited to talk about those two things.
Back.
Oh yeah.
Shinsuke, man.
I'm happy to see him back. That's gonna bang. That's gonna bang. I like that.
And on Raw, I'm not gonna lie, the C level stories they're doing with Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and the Wyatt Six and the Final Testament and Miz. I'm enjoying those, man. Like those level on Raw. Yeah, I'm enjoying. I think that I don't want them to be like, I'm not asking for much from them. So what they're giving me is making sense, and I'm appreciative of that. And there's wrinkles building each week with those things. Miz set up the Wyatt Six this week, so now he's officially on the side of the Final Testament. And I would like to see a traditional Survivor Series match between those guys. And just like, and with the woman too, the woman who, main event of Raw, Bianca, Jade, Io, and Naomi. I want them to go ahead and compete against Liv, Raquel, and who was it? It was Naomi, not Nia Jax, Liv, Raquel, Nia Jax, Tiffany, and Candice. I think, yeah.
Yeah, there's no power line here. Something.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get those traditional Survivor Series matches in, as well as War Games, and I'm there.
Yeah, I think
Shinsuke
that's
LA Knight. You're good.
yeah. That about for me too. Oh no, Braun Breaker got to defend the IC championship against somebody.
Yeah, no,
Can't have it.
Him and Sheamus is this Monday,
Okay,
so it's not gonna be as Survivor Series.
which I feel bad for Shamo because he about to get his ass whooped.
All right, but that's all, man. I think that's it for the night.
Okay,
We hit it off early with our big topics. But anything else you gotta say?
I don't, brother. You want to get our game of Madden tonight or tomorrow?
I should do it tomorrow, but part of me's like, yeah, let's play tonight.
Let's do it tomorrow then.
All right.
I don't want the sleepy game.
All right.
All right.
So more than anything, is like I know I got to get up early to get everything ready.
That's
but,
what I'm saying. We can play tomorrow, before Raw.
All right, I'll just play my training camp, so I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm gonna play a training camp now and then go to bed. I'll probably put on an episode of Penguin or something.
I know what it is. Send us out, brother.
All's love. Everything is wrestling. We'll see y'all next week. And we out. Next week is Full Gear, or is it?
Yeah, the 23rd next week.
All right, so we'll see you after Full Gear, guys. Peace.
Yep. Peace.